It was a busy weekend for civil defense and volcano scientists who were not only keeping tabs on the lava flow, but also participating in the well-timed Puna Regional Emergency Preparedness Fair. The prep fair was held in Kea'au for the second year in a row. By coincidence, it was scheduled for August 30th, in between a hurricane and a new lava flow, giving the event new relevance. The fair was put together by the Puna Community Development Plan Subcommittee on Connectivity and Emergency Response and the Hawaii County Civil Defense Agency. Over 70 exhibitors were on hand to share information and raise awareness. With all the talk these days about evacuation routes in Puna, the e-mapping room was a popular attraction. Stephanie Bath showed us around.
People will come in and they sign in, and then we bring them into this area here that kind of gives them an idea of the community responses so far. These are the red lines on the map. And what they are a reflection of is that last year's preparedness fair, the community weighed in and showed us different places where they needed, or they had proposed areas where they could break in or break out to create redundancy, specifically with Highway 130 and Highway 11. Currently, a lot of subdivisions are blocked in and they don't have any redundancy or way to get out.
I actually couldn't get out on this help. My neighbor's widowmakers came down, so.
So what did you do?
I stayed home.
This is Patty Reese, and she's one of our volunteers and the shift coordinator here. And so what Patty's doing is as people arrive at the table, she's asking them to identify where they live. So for example, I could say, okay, I live here, and this is the way I normally get out. Or I could get out here. So then Patty would say, okay, what happens if these two roads are blocked? What would you do? Well, right now there is no way for me to get out, but if I could, I would say, okay, well, I would go this way, and I would use this connectivity location. You can see this red line. This is a proposed connectivity location, as is this and this and this. So basically what we're doing is we're plotting a new route. So last year, people just did the exercise that I just explained to you. This year, what we did was we crunched all the data from last year, and we identified these connectivity locations. And so now people are coming in, they're weighing in on the information that we've given. So far, we've had no opposition to any of the connectivity locations, but we have had input that would probably disqualify locations because they've gone through a forest reserve or there's flooding in the area. One of the key points of these connectivity locations is that all subdivisions and communities will buy in and connect them all. So for example, people from Volcano down to Highway 130 would have a staggered connectivity locations between subdivisions that they could transverse from one to the next. After they've gone to the tables, we have some comment boards. For example, the comment here is, I want to drive to adjacent communities without having to use highways such as 130 to 11. So people have had the opportunity throughout the day to comment. This was the morning sheet, and then this is the afternoon sheet. Clearly, people want to have some sort of road redundancy. They want to be able to bicycle. They want to be able to ride their horses. They want to be able to walk from one subdivision to another. Yes, 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 yes. Safety. This is important. Yes, we shouldn't be wasting valuable money to build bigger recreation facilities when we can be within our own subdivision. And then what we have is we have some general comments so that people have a place where they can be heard. During Izell and in other times, people didn't really have a place where their thoughts and feelings could be captured. So this is what we're doing today. And then another element of it is during Izell, we learned that distribution points were at the Poa High School, at the police station, at the Mountain View Gym. People had to leave their communities to get resources, and sometimes they were blocked. So as part of the Puna Community Development Plan connectivity goals, what we're looking at is using selected connectivity locations for possibly linear parks where we can build a structure so people wouldn't have to go out to KL Community Center for meetings, and where we could do distribution with the American Red Cross or with CERT teams. And lastly, as I mentioned before, the connectivity alternative routes to highways are critical for the safety and wellness of Puna, which has been over and over and over and over again demonstrated when Highway 11, when a tree goes down in Highway 11, or back in the 80s when that big fire came through Paradise Park up to Puna and the highway was closed. We're looking at hopefully a lava flow that will stop soon and not impact community, but it has the potential of crossing Highway 130 and cutting it off. So this is what we're doing here. And as you can see, there is no opposition at all, which is very reassuring because last year at the fair there was no opposition.